A collective sigh went out in Chiefs Kingdom today as news broke that the Kansas City Chiefs would play both of their young tackles, Wanya Morris and Kingsley Suamataia, at the left tackle position in the upcoming game against the Falcons. What? Another swing and another miss at the tackle position by Brett Veach? Well, I'm here to tell you, not so fast. This is actually better than it sounds. There are four main reasons for that, and we'll get to them shortly. In an article from Arrowhead Pride, written by Pete Sweeney, titled Chiefs Say Both Wanya Morris and Kingsley Suamataia Will See Time versus the Falcons, subtitled Andy Reid, the two tackles will both have an opportunity to get in there this game. We get the following. After rookie Kingsley Suamataia had to be checked out of the game against the Cincinnati Bengals due to his performance against Pro Bowl pass rusher Trey Hendrickson, would he hold on to his position for Week 3's game against the Atlanta Falcons? Or would the Chiefs turn to second-year lineman Wanya Morris? As the club enters the weekend, the answer to that question remains unclear. The two tackles will both have an opportunity to get in there this game, said head coach Andy Reid in his opening statement at the podium on Friday. We'll see how it goes as we roll. Both are ready to go. Morris said he didn't know if he would start when the media members spoke to him on Wednesday, and on Thursday, neither offensive coordinator Matt Nagy nor offensive line coach Andy Heck were willing to answer the question with any definitiveness. Suamataia, who earned the top job out of training camp, seemed to have a positive attitude about the potential lineup change when he spoke to reporters in the locker room on Friday. I've got to keep working, said the rookie. I've got to come out every day to work. One day you'll be there. One day you're not. So just taking the days for granted and stacking up the days just to be a better player. Suamataia added that his priority this week has been more about improving his own technique rather than any special preparation for the opposition. And if Morris ends up taking the majority of the snaps, he will have Suamataia's support. We don't know what's going to happen, but whatever happens and whatever Coach Reid decides, all props to either of us that go out and play. I have full trust in Wanya. So yeah, it will be good. We get that from the article on Arrowhead Pride. And I understand that it seems disappointing that this would be the case, that the Kansas City Chiefs invested a third-round pick in a left tackle last season, a second-round pick in a left tackle this season, and still cannot figure the position out. Meanwhile, Jawan Taylor has just drawn another penalty flag. But I think that this is better than it seems. So the number one reason here is competition. Competition, not just at the left tackle position. Everybody, there's 53 men on this roster. There's an entire practice squad that are also on the team. Everyone sees that Kingsley Suamataia did not perform up to snuff and understands that there are consequences for that. Everyone on the team saw that Kingsley Suamataia was pulled out not after the game, was not simply demoted following the game, was pulled out during the game. Everyone then knows this coaching staff will do that to you. Your position is not guaranteed, no matter who you are, short of Chris Jones, Travis Kelce, and Patrick Mahomes. That is. Now, everyone knowing that is one thing. Everyone kind of existentially knows that on an NFL team. But once they start seeing it, it's a whole different game. You know that feeling. You've been at work and had someone fired for performance around you, haven't you? And what happens the week after? Oh, you're on time. You're 2 minutes early every day. By golly, boss, do you need me to stay after? I see that the next shift isn't quite in yet. Do you need someone here? That's what happens no matter where you work. It's no different in the NFL. These guys can get complacent and lazy in their positions. they can feel as if everything is guaranteed to them. When they see the guy next to them, the guy across from them, loses his job due to performance, all of a sudden, things are a little bit more in tip-top. We have seen the Kansas City Chiefs be something of a sloppy team, not just through the first 2 weeks of the season, but this goes all the way back through all 3 of the preseason games, just sloppy football. Maybe some of that starts to get picked up. Maybe people are dotting their I's and crossing their T's as they play their positions, knowing their position is not guaranteed. This coaching staff will shake things up. If this coaching staff will shake things up at a position so important as the left tackle, what hope do you have as the third defensive tackle, for example? The number 2 thing is this. Both of these players will play. Both of these players will grow. Both of these players, Wanya Morris, this is the halfway point in his rookie contract after this season. He is playing year 2 of 4. Obviously, Kingsley Suamataia is in his rookie season, the first of his 4 years. Both of them are preparing as if they will start. Much of the mental progress that happens in the NFL, you hear people talk about this all the time, is from, like is said in the article, stacking days, something that I think is a practice we should all have in our own life as well. Don't miss today. Maybe you need that break, as Jocko Willink says. Maybe you do. Maybe you are at a breaking point, but don't take that day off today. Do it tomorrow. Kingsley Suamataia and Wanya Morris are both in this position right now every day in practice. They are forced to be focused with the level of a starter. At the level, of a starter. Both of these players will get better from that. Now, what would you say are the percentages that you get better from practice versus the game? We'll just call it 50-50. 50% of the improvement that you show in your NFL career is from practice. 50% of the improvement you show is from experience in the game. There's no substitution for the live fire, for the tape work that you can do afterwards, all of those things. So both of these players right now are getting 100% of the 50% that works every time. Doesn't make any sense. Both players are getting that full starter level experience in practice from their level of focus, etc. So that portion of reaching their ceiling is there. What do the reps look like for the rest of it, right? We don't know, but we'll say there's 60 offensive reps this game. Each of these players plays 30. Not going to work out that way, but just pretend. That means that as far as the quote-unquote development of these players goes, in this game, playing half, each of them playing 2 quarters of football, these players will get 75% of the maximum amount of reaching their ceiling that happens. Now, obviously, this is just sort of the way of talking. Like, these aren't players on a Madden football game, so it doesn't work exactly that cleanly. But I think you understand what I'm saying. Getting all of the mental reps in practice, getting the reps that you need in practice, and then how many of your reps during a game would be profitable anyway? Is it really all that profitable when you are on the field and too tired to think about what you're doing? You can correct the conditioning off the field. But if you're really getting the mental work in every rep, because instead of playing 60 reps, you're playing 30 reps, you profit more from that experience than you would playing all 60 reps, but for 20 of it, you're dog crap tired, and you're not going to be focused on your assignment. You're just trying to get in the way of another man so he doesn't smatter Patrick Mahomes all over the canvas. So I do think that both of these players will get the maximum amount of profit that you get from not playing a full game. The number 3 reason that I think that this is a good thing rather than a bad thing at this point in the season, hopefully you figure it out and you have your starting left tackle come week 18. But right now, one of the reasons that this is a good thing rather than a bad thing is at some point, someone's going to get injured along the offensive line. Someone's going to miss a couple games with a wrist. Someone's going to jam their thumbs. Both of them. Whatever it is. It happens. Hasn't happened too much to the Kansas City Chiefs the past few seasons. That is not a guarantee. That is an anomaly. So, when that does happen, the Kansas City Chiefs will have more experienced players to pop out there on the field. We saw this preseason Wanya Morris work in with the offensive guards as well. Didn't go quite all that exquisitely, but he did do it. Either of these players, Kingsley Suamataia or Wanya Morris, I think are well adapted to be able to play the right tackle position, possibly better even than they would be at the left tackle position, but we will leave that off the table for now, at least until point number 4 that I have to talk about. The idea that the Kansas City Chiefs have little experience at depth positions along the line is true. Hunter Nourzad, CJ Hansen, Mike Caliendo, all very limited experience. 2 of those 3 have no NFL experience, CJ Hansen and Hunter Nourzad, during actual offensive plays. Mike Caliendo is limited. At the tackle position, Ethan Driscoll is, I think he dressed out week 1. I don't think he even dressed out week 2. So he has no offensive experience in the NFL, but I think he had, if I'm remembering correctly, he got a couple special teams reps in week 1, but I could be completely making that up. But then you have the offensive tackles in Kingsley Suamataia and Wanya Morris and Jawaan Taylor. So you have 3 guys that you trust to start at 2 positions or with 2 open positions. So I think that you have, by throwing both of these guys out here now, getting them experience, you are building the reserve of capable backups that comes in handy. Imagine if Patrick Mahomes had just one of these guys in the alleged Super Bowl that I don't remember and don't think ever happened against the Buccaneers. Just one of these guys on the field would have made a world of difference during that game. And the number 4 and final thing that I want to talk about here with this revelation that both Wanya Morris and Kingsley Suamataia will be playing against the Falcons, I think there is a very real possibility that at some point, even if it's not this season, and I've talked about this for a long time now, someone replaces Jawaan Taylor at the right tackle position. And I think the more both of these players are on the field in live fire circumstance, the more that both of these players show the strengths that they have and that they can work on the weaknesses that they have, the closer they get to being a full-time starter, even if it's not on the left-hand side of the offensive line. Showing time and again that they will not draw penalties and get big plays called back. Now, Wanya Morris had one of those this past weekend, but with nowhere near the regularity that Jawaan Taylor produces laundry on the field. More than that, even if it's not this year, allowing the Kansas City Chiefs to utilize the out that they have in the Jawaan Taylor contract would allow the Kansas City Chiefs to re-sign Nick Bolton, which I understand is not a popular proposition at this point, but I think that he does have some rust he's still kicking off. And Trey Smith. Trey Smith is a free agent at the end of this season as well. Both Creed Humphrey and Noah Gray have already been re-signed by the Kansas City Chiefs. Nick Bolton, Trey Smith have not. Part of the thing holding that up is cap space. Part of the cap space that's being absolutely decimated right now is Jawaan Taylor getting paid an awful lot of money, even if it's a lot of money. It is a lot of money. I will say that. Even if I do think that in the next couple of seasons it will seem like not that much money because of the market constantly being reset, it is a lot of money. And if the Chiefs have 2 players on rookie contracts that they can start at those offensive tackle positions, both of them, plural, left tackle and right tackle, it would mean big things for the Kansas City Chiefs as far as being able to spend money in free agency would go. If you get rid of that Jawaan Taylor contract, all of a sudden, there's a whole lot of space opened up. That is all I have for this video. If you like or appreciate what it is that I do here, hitting a like button really does help me out, as it tells YouTube to share this video with other Kansas City Chiefs fans. And if you find yourself here by chance but not design, the Kansas City Chiefs are the only thing I talk about on this channel, dropping multiple videos every week. I've dropped the video for over 600 consecutive days now, and I hope to have you back for the next one.